and then we'll get rolling. Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for social media and marketing tips and tricks. I'm Amy Stack, and today we are recording Ask Amy, a bi-weekly session offering a place to bring your questions concerning our marketing topic of the week. Today's topic is Facebook groups and how to build relationships with them. Before we get started, if this is your first time here and you want to learn more about marketing and social media for your real estate business, go ahead and start now by subscribing to my channel. Just click that red button and then make sure to click the bell icon to get all the notifications. All right, with that, I think we are good to start. We're talking about Facebook groups today and how you can use them in your real estate business. So I would like to start by asking you guys some questions. I would love to hear who has groups, who's interacting in groups, who's just thinking, you know, where you are in the process. So let me know where you are, what you've got going on, and what some of your questions are, and then I'll kind of answer, we'll talk about things based on what you guys need. So who's doing what?
I do groups in my neighborhood, and then all the Lombard mom groups.
Perfect.
I have found people looking for realtors and stuff in there. So, and then my friends will recommend me and whatnot. And then I do post my open houses and stuff like that.
Great idea. Now, Anna, do you run any of your own, or are you just members of other public groups right now?
No, just other public groups. I'd like to start my own though.
Okay, perfect. What else? Who else is doing things out there?
I'm a member of many groups, but I don't do anything with them except read the posts.
Okay, so you know what's going on.
Yeah, so that's why I'm here.
All right. What about the rest of you guys?
I am Anand here. I actually started a group in the initial months of COVID-19, maybe around April.
All right.
I started the group and didn't know where to go with it, you know, how to grow the group.
Starting is the hardest part, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get ideas as to how to get people to join the group.
Sure.
So, and then I am also thinking maybe one group might just suffice for, you know, one nation, maybe contemplate an additional group or groups.
Yes, you can absolutely have more than one group. That's a tactic that a lot of people use, so we can talk about that too.
Yeah, so my main concern, my main thing is, how do I, now that I've named a group, how do I get people to join the group?
Perfect.
Or to find me.
Oh, go ahead.
Or to find me. To find
how to get people to find you. Yes, we can absolutely talk about that. Anybody have anything additional they want to add, or is that pretty much good to go on for now and we can ask as questions pop up?
I'd just like to mention that I've always avoided Facebook, and now that I've just become a realtor, I'm wanting, right, those contacts. So I'm just real new to it. So well, anything you have to share. Yeah.
Welcome to the business.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, well then let's go ahead and get started. Let's see here. I want to talk about a couple of things that you guys mentioned. It sounds like most of you are in groups, but you might not necessarily be running them just yet. So let's start with that because that's where most of you are. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you some Facebook groups already out there. 1 second here. Okay. Everybody see my window here?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Oh, so this one that I have actually I'm going to mute somebody. I'm getting I'm hearing myself coming through my computer. All right, I think it was fixed. Okay, so this one is actually a group that is meant for agents to join and interact with each other. I want to pull up, let's see. I don't know, I have a couple of different Facebook accounts, so I might not be in them here. Okay, well, what Anna was talking about was there's a lot of community groups out there. So I just searched Lombard community, and you can see all these different things that are coming up. These first 3 are all groups. You can tell because there's a join button next to them. The rest of them are pages. So you don't necessarily have to be admitted to those. You just like the page, and maybe that information will show up in your feed. And if you go check out your pages later, it will remind you that you've become a fan of these businesses. So do you guys know what the difference is between a group and a business page? That's a good place to start too. Okay, I see some head shakes. So a business page is a public page that anybody can see anytime they want to, whether they like it or not. You post content there and people can see it. A group is something that people, depending on how you set it up, have to be admitted to, and you get to decide what, so you publish your own content in both of them, but a group is a little bit more inclusive. It's built more for interactivity between people in the group versus getting knowledge out to the public. So with building groups, one thing I like to recommend is when you set it up, there are 3 group settings as far as the public settings go. One is open, meaning anybody can join the group. There's no approval process needed. The second is private, meaning you have to go ahead and admit people into the group, but anybody can see the group. They just can't see what's in it unless they've been admitted to it. And then the third option is secret. So that means that unless you as an admin specifically share, or a member in the group specifically share a link to somebody, they cannot find that group on Facebook at all. They have to have an invite link to get into it. So an open group, anybody can see the content that's in it, even if they're not necessarily admitted to the group, and there's no like approval process for it. I usually recommend for stuff like this, for you guys, what we're doing, you want to do a private group where people actually have to request to join, and you have to say, yes, I want you in my group, and then they can see everything that's going on. A secret group I don't recommend for businesses because nobody can find you. You have to specifically send that link to everybody. So if you haven't checked that, or if you don't remember how you set up your group, definitely go and take a look at that. It'll be in your group settings, what the privacy settings are. So private is a good one for business groups. Okay, so these ones you can see I have to request join on them. And that's because they're set up as a private group. So I was able to see that they're out there and see that they exist. And if I click on it, I might even be able to see a little bit of content. I can see a description of the group. And then I can see their rules. That's it. So I'm going to go back again really quick. Now, if this was a secret page, I wouldn't be able to see it at all unless somebody had sent me that link. So what I want to do is hit join because I want to show you this other cool little thing you can do as a group owner. See how I've been prompted to answer a question? When you set up your group, if it's a private group, you can choose to ask questions to the people that are requesting to join. So I believe you can ask up to 3 questions, and this is where you can really leverage information as an agent. So you can do 3 totally unrelated questions. I always recommend doing one about, it doesn't necessarily have to be, are you working with an agent, but something real estate related. Are you looking to move to the area? It all depends on what your group is. So if you're creating a group about like living in Lombard or moving to Lombard, you could make one of your questions, do you live in or are you looking to move to Lombard right now, right? So that gives you an idea of if these people are looking to move, they're going in your pipeline then, right? Or if they're just, looking to be in the area and learn more about what's going on in the town because they're there already and they just are looking for a local resource. You can do a fun question in there just to kind of keep it light and, happy, and just like, are you an awesome person, or what's your favorite color, favorite dessert, or something like that. And if you do a fun question like that, and it's more of something that could be tied back to like a client appreciation event that you do. Like a lot of people do Pi Day events around either 3/14, March 14th, or around Thanksgiving. So you could just ask what your favorite type of pie is, like apple, pumpkin, or pecan. And they don't know that that's for a business thing later down the line, but then you have that for your record, and it seems like a fun little just splash of sunshine in the day, right? Oh, that's a fun question to ask. So you can have, I believe it's up to 3 questions in here. And then you can also list your group's rules, as you see on the screen here, when somebody requests to join the group. And then they have to click that, yes, I agree to the rules of this group before they participate. Now, Facebook has a whole bunch of rules that you can choose from. You don't have to create them all from scratch, but they do allow you the ability to add your own rule as well. So the nice part about going through this process when you're setting up a group is that if you don't want to allow other agents in your group, you have kind of that screening process ahead of time so that you cannot allow agents to be part of your real estate group. Does that make sense?
Amy,
Yep.
are these questions, are they prompted? I mean, are we prompted to ask these questions?
So it's one of the settings when you make a group, if you want to ask any questions when people request to join.
I get what I meant to say. Are there default questions, or that we can just scroll through and click?
Not the questions, the rules there are, but I haven't seen default questions, although Facebook's updating all the time, so that could change. But as of right now,
Okay, I guess I meant the
like
rules.
suggestions in it. But yeah, the rules for sure. Facebook has a bunch of rules listed. Like these, all 3 of these are already created by Facebook here. The be kind and courteous, no hate speech or bullying, and business ads. That's all
Right.
standard that you can choose from.
Amy,
Yes.
how would you go about restricting other agents from joining, other realtors?
Well, you could put something either in, see how it says your membership is pending approval, and then there's a little message up here. You can put a question in there. Are you an agent? If you want to be, that forward about it, or you can just look them up on your MLS. Obviously, if your group is growing by leaps and bounds and there's a lot of people coming in, that's going to get really time consuming. But yeah, you could ask the question right here, are you a real estate professional, as one of your 3 questions, or you can look them up on your MLS as those.
Okay, so, the first time they go through, they're wanting in the group and they see that question and they answer it honestly. And they don't get in the group. So would anybody then go back and try to get in it again by saying that they're not a realtor when they are? Does that ever happen?
It's a possibility. You don't actually get notified if you don't get in the group. You get notified once you're admitted. So unless they're really paying attention to all the groups they've requested to join and going back and seeing that they weren't admitted to it, they won't even know that they weren't admitted.
Yeah, so it's not obvious. Okay.
Correct.
One other question, Amy. If we allowed them into the group and then later we decided we didn't want them in the group?
Yeah, you can kick anybody out. Absolutely.
Well, I like that part.
You might even
anybody from your group at any time.
You might even screen them by phrasing the question in such a way: are you a real estate professional, a medical professional, or in the insurance professional?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That will not, kind of broaden it, and then they're not thinking you're looking to see if they're a realtor.
Right. Like what do you do for a living?
Right.
Right. What are your hobbies? Anything like that. And like I said, depending on what you set the group up to be about, it's going to kind of change what these questions will be. So we've been talking about setting up a neighborhood group. So like I said, you could do something that's like, I wrote down some ideas for names. So making the move to, and then list the town, or all about in the town name, or living in, whatever town it is. And this goes back to your point earlier where you can have multiple groups. So you could do living in Lombard, living in Glen Ellen, living in Villa Park, and have all these different groups. That's totally fine. So what we've been talking about so far is all neighborhood based. But the other thing you can do is set up a group that's based on a hobby. So there's things that you are passionate about that aren't just your business, right? Walter, I know you like to dance, right? You could start a dancing group. People that
I
are
didn't
dancing.
start one, but I'm in one.
See, so you're already in one, but you could start your own too. And that has nothing to do with real estate, but it's a way to meet more people and build those connections and start relationships. Okay, so think about stuff like that. Are you a dog lover? Do you love going to dog parks? Maybe you could do like best dog parks in Kane County, something like that. It doesn't have to be real estate specific. So it's really endless. It's something you want to make a group based on your knowledge base and something that you are passionate about, right? So you could make a list of, 4 or 5 things that you love to do. So obviously you guys are all in real estate, you're knowledgeable about that. I brought up a couple of hobbies. You could do something family related. If you love taking, your family, kids, nieces, nephews, grandkids, whatever, out on outings, you could do something around that, like day with the grandparents, ideas for something like that. If you love planning parties, you can do that. If you're dual career, I was talking to an agent who's also in a special event world. So he has created a group that he does a lot of stuff within the wedding world specifically. So although his special event stuff isn't necessarily related to real estate, the clients that are in the wedding world are probably looking to buy or sell sometime soon because there's a big change going on in their life. So he's made a group about the special events stuff, invited other professionals from the special events into that group, and they network and talk about clients that either need a DJ or are looking to move or are looking for a photographer, and they connect each other that way as well. So that one's more for industry professionals, but you could do it the other way where you could invite people into the group that are looking to plan their weddings and help be the person that connects them to all of these vendors, including their realtor. So there's lots of different ways to use the groups in here. Okay, I want to go back to, we kind of digressed from our original question here. We were talking about, oops, trying to X out of here. Oh, I didn't answer the question, so it yelled at me a little bit, but that's okay. People can request to join without answering the questions, and that's up to you if you want to admit them or not. And you can respond to them, or you can just delete the request. So we were talking, this one was about communities. I totally lost track of the original question. I'm sorry. Do you guys remember what it was? Should I go back? Should I just keep going?
I don't remember what it was, but are we going to talk about advertising this group?
Yeah, we'll talk about how to get the word out, how to grow your group. Absolutely. So let me go into,
I think you were talking about multiple groups.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little. So you can run multiple groups, whether it's the same theme for different areas. So like I had said, making the move to Chicago, making the move to Charlotte, you could do that type of thing. Or you could do one about your local town, one about, the hobby that you're interested in, that type of stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that's where we left off.
So you can make groups, as many groups as you want. I definitely recommend starting one, and once you build it a little, then go ahead and make another one. Just because you want to get the hang of it at first before you add too many. That doesn't mean that you can't make a whole bunch and just not run them all at the same time. So you could do that if you want to make sure you get that name secured and that you're the admin of it. So like, let's say my office is here in Glen Ellen and there's, a bunch of surrounding towns. So let's say I really want to focus on Glen Ellen right now and I want to make my theme name, make the move to Glen Ellen. Then I can start a group, make the move to Glen Ellen, make the move to Lombard, to Elmhurst, to Lisle. I can make all of those and just not invite anybody to the other ones, but that way I've secured that name so that once I start building that brand, I know that when I'm ready to branch out to the next neighborhood, that that's already safe for me and nobody will be able to take that name and I'll still be able to grow into the next town. Okay. You definitely want to think about your branding when you're doing this. So you guys know my social media stuff is the Social Stack, right? I also have I'm part of a direct sales company, and my business name for that is Stacks of Bags. So I've got the stack in there as well. So that's kind of something to consider while you're making these groups. You don't have to make them all connected like that. It's part of your marketing strategy. If you want people to know that you are the one connecting all these groups and facilitating all of them, then definitely think about that branding and make them, choose names for them that are cohesive. If you don't necessarily want that to be, and you just want people to be very specific about what they're searching for, like people don't know yet who I am, or some people do, but not on a mass basis. People don't know to look for, they know the name Gary Keller, right? So they could search for groups with Gary Keller's name in it. They might not know the name Walter Roy yet. Obviously your close friends and family do, but people that you don't know what to look for your name, right? Does that make sense? So doing something more easily accessible for people to find. So you want to think, this is the search bar on Facebook. You want to think, if I wanted to find out information about the topic I'm creating my group on, what would I start typing in that search bar? And that's what you want to make sure to incorporate into the name. Does that help? So that's one way to start getting people to find you, is to make sure that your name is something that's easy to search for.
Hey, Amy,
Yes.
can we start these groups? Like I have a business page.
Mhm.
So I have obviously my regular page, and then I have my like Anna Mose Realtor page. Can I create these groups using my Realtor page, even though it's a business page, or do I have to, how does that work?
So the groups are, you can be in the group as a page, but they have to be, just like your business page has to be linked to a profile, a person, the group
Right.
be linked that way as well. But then you can join. Did you see how when I'm going to cancel this request. Come on.
Because some of my business, or some of the groups I belong to in Lombard, like some of them are under my regular name, and then some of them are under my business name. So do I I don't know how to do that on all of the pages.
So you see here, when I clicked join, it's asking me how do I want to join, as my
Oh, okay.
personal or as my business page.
Okay.
So when you join, you do that. And then if you are posting from your, like you make a post in your business page and you decide
Right.
you want to share it somewhere else, a lot of times it will suggest that you join as your page. Like Facebook automatically suggests that.
Yeah, that's what's happened before.
Mhm.
But, so like if I want to create like a group, like a new Facebook group, like you said, moving to Lombard, I
Mhm.
would have to do that as my regular page, like my Anna Mose, just my regular one.
Yeah, you started it from the
uh,
profile, correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And that, that could always change in the future, but you can run it, just make yourself your page, like an admin of the group, and you can run it that way too.
Got it. Okay.
I'm trying to think, trying to think if I have a group that's set up that way, and I'm not sure off the top of my head, so I don't want to waste your guys' time hunting.
Right, yeah, no, that's no big deal.
So that's all. So far we pretty much talked about being part of how to set up a group, but as far as being part of a group, I think this is where we started originally. Let me log out of this profile and log into another one really quick.
Hey, Amy, another question. If you already set up a business page and you want to change the name of that page, will you be able to change it, or do we have to set up a different
You can
one?
change the name of your page or your group. The answer is yes to both. You can only change your group name, I think, once a month now. That you used to be able to change it much more frequently. I think it's every like 30 days that you can change it. Because you don't want to keep changing it, because then people won't know how to find you.
Right. No, I'm just asking. Let's say I created one long time ago, and then I decide, no, if that's not the right one, I may have to change it to a different name. the
Yeah.
business page, then I could be able to go and change it, correct?
Yes, you can always change the names. Just, I shouldn't say always. Yes, you have the ability to, but you can only do it so often.
Okay, okay.
So here's a group that I'm part of called Elmhurst, Illinois Online Garage Sales. Visit, come on. My computer runs a little slow when I'm zooming. So this is a neighborhood group. I've never looked to see who started this, but you can see that there's 12,000 members in it. Obviously this one is about selling things, right? It's garage sale type of thing. That's all virtual. So this is something where you could, as your page, if they allow it, some groups don't allow pages to join, and that's just, you know, however they decide to run it. You have no control over that. So you can try to join as your group and your profile, or excuse me, as your page and your profile. And you can participate in this group when somebody, like if you have clients that are looking to sell things because they're moving, you can post on their behalf, or you can have them tell them about the group and comment on it. You can post things about tips for, you know, garage sale stuff. If you're in, this one's, you know, pretty niche as far as it's a selling group, but if you're in a general town group, you can post things about what's going on in the neighborhood and just let people know that you're, you know, that local expert with all the information about what's happening in that town. And if you're constantly sharing information of value, people are naturally going to start coming to you to ask questions about the area, which means, you know, people that are looking to move to the area are probably going to be reaching out to you because they are seeing you as a resource of knowledge for that area, so that it'll just naturally kind of come your way. So that's when you're in a group. And then Anna brought up a great point that she's in groups that her friends are also in. So if somebody sees something being posted about somebody needing an agent, sometimes her friends will tag her in that post, and that's great. I've had stuff like that happen as well. What you want to make sure you do when that happens is don't just, you know, jump on them and leave your information or attack them with, you know, let's get coffee and let's meet and let's talk about your real estate needs. You want to actually come from a place of contribution. People want to be heard. So maybe ask them questions on how you can best, you know, provide service to them and what it is they're looking for in an agent. And I would do that through a direct message too, versus just posting it on the comments here. Definitely post on the, oh, I'm trying to show it to you here. So you can comment down here. So you can absolutely post something in the comment, like, you know, I'd love to help you learn more about the area. I'll send you a message. And then that way everybody sees that you responded to them and doesn't think that they're getting ignored. And it shows that you're responsive, but at the same time, you're not airing all of their business in this group for everybody to see. Does that make sense?
You could link your business page too, which is kind of cool.
Yep, you absolutely can. So there we go. Oh, I'm not in the group, so it's not gonna, if you're, this is where being in the group as your page will be beneficial. So I, as a person, am in this group, but this business page, Keller Williams Premier Properties, is not a member of the group. So I could tag it, but people won't actually really be able to do much other than go look for the group. If your page is a member of the group, or if it's an open group, they can actually click that link and go straight to your business page then. So great point, Anna. I think that was Anna that said that.
Yep, that was me.
Perfect. Okay, so what other questions do we have about being a member of a group? Nothing right now? I'm gonna have to log back in here, I bet. I opened up a group here. If you guys aren't already part of it, this is like one of the biggest Facebook groups for realtors to connect. I logged out of this account. I have to log back in. Yes, I know. Thank you. Let me log out. So Lab Code Agents is a really cool place to go to network with other agents and share business ideas. Why doesn't this one work? Trying to log out Facebook. And they have some really engaging posts. I'm in it on both accounts, so I guess that's fine that I do this way. I'm guessing most of you guys have Facebook, the classic account right now, not the new version. Is this how your screen looks for most of you? Yeah, I'm seeing some head nods. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it on this version. If you guys are interested in switching to the new Facebook, all you have to do is click this little arrow in the top right and see if in your drop down, if it says switch to new right here, and you can get that new Facebook layout. Not everybody has access to it right now. It's being beta tested, but it will move that way across the board eventually. So if you want to take a peek at that, that's just a little side note, unrelated to groups.
Amy, can I just ask, as a side note, what would be the advantage of joining the new format?
Well, it's going to switch over to that eventually anyways, so you'll just already know how to use it, and you can switch back and forth between the two right now. So if there's something you're not sure how to use on the new format, you can come back to your classic and do it there. But also there's different features on the new one, just depending on where you are in Facebook. So just something to play around with. I go back and forth all the time to see what's happening and what I can do. Okay, so this is a group that's a really cool group to be a part of as an agent. It's a way to network. And they've done a really good job with this group. Obviously, there's a ton of people in it. There's 20,000 agents in this group. But there's a couple reasons I wanted to open this up and show you this page. Once you are in a group, or you've started one, you will have this section here that says invite members. So this is one way to get the word out about your group. You can just hit invite on all of those people that you want to invite. Charlie, I'm gonna invite you. So you'll get a notification that I invited you to this group. So that's one way to start adding people to your group, is right through this section here, okay? Another way you can do it is actually copy the URL at the top of the page here. And you can send it to people manually if you want to. So you can put this in your email signature. You can put it in, send it as a text message to somebody. You can put it on your website, whatever it is that you want to link it to. Anybody will be able to click this link if it's online. Obviously, if it's a piece of paper, they can't click on it. But that's another way you can get the word out. And then there should be a share button right here. So if I click share, so right now this says to share on my own timeline. I can click that and I can have a bunch of different sharing options here. So wherever you want to share it, you just click that option there, and you can say a little post about it. So if this is your own group that you're promoting, you could say something about, hey, I just started this group about blah, 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 blah. If you are interested in this topic, or you want to learn more or build community with other people that share the same values as you, or whatever it is, it's going to vary a little bit based on what your group is about. Come check us out, join the community now, or something like that. And then you can post that to your page, or if you're in a group you want to share it to, or your personal profile, you can put it in your story on Facebook. So there's lots of ways to share through this share button right here that will be at the top of your group. So that is a great way to grow your community. And then the other thing you can do is actually interact with the people in your group and ask them to help grow it with you. So ask the members of your group to share it. Some people will do a fun little incentive, like the person who has the most shares in this amount of time, I'll send like a Starbucks gift card to. The thing that you want to be careful about with that is, of course, in real estate, we have to worry about RESPA rules. So make sure that whatever state you're in, you're following the guidelines for that. I don't think in Illinois that I don't think there's anything you have to worry about as far as joining a group. You can't offer a gift card for like a referral or anything, but if you're just trying to join the group, I don't think that's an issue, but just check with your managing broker to be sure. And that goes across, any state. Then Another thing you could do is do some sort of contest. And you just want to make sure that if you're doing fun little things like this, a contest or a giveaway or something, you want the people that are adding their friends to their group to be genuinely interested in the group, which Facebook has actually, in the past couple of years, they've really kind of hunkered down on adding people to groups. So you can see here now that I was mentioning earlier, it's this invite button. So when you send that invite button to somebody, they'll get a little notification on their bell, and they actually have to accept to join that group. So if they're not interested, they're just going to ignore it. In the past, you used to be able to just add people to the group and they'd be in it, and they, you know, would have no say. They'd have to leave if they wanted to. So Facebook's done a good job about that, so that you aren't just automatically added into somebody's group without it being your choice. But like I said, you want people to really be interested in helping grow the group. You don't want them to just start kind of inviting people frivolously. So make sure that you're offering good content and coming from a place of, you know, value and contribution for them. So does that help your guys' questions about how to grow your group? Yep.
I have an additional question about it.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned, in the beginning of COVID, I started a group, and my intention was to reach out to have businesses I live in Orlando.
Okay.
I was hoping to have businesses in the area become members of my group. Subsequently, people who visit their businesses would know about my group, and I'd be broadening my my database. So obviously, I don't want to be driving to every single business and say, hey, join my group.
Right.
So how can you do that efficiently? By getting those businesses to join. And once they join, then I can, you know, say, hey, can you share?
Have you been doing care calls recently to reach out to everybody and see how they're doing?
Yeah, I've been doing it to my my base, but I don't have any businesses in my base, maybe one or two.
Well, you can reach out to businesses and do the same type of thing and come from that place of contribution, saying that you've started this group to help businesses, local businesses, I'm assuming is your target for this?
Yes.
So you made this group to help local businesses connect with, you know, local consumers, and you'd love to add them to help them get the word out that they're still open, and these are the things that they've done differently with their business. Like a lot of the restaurants out here, Illinois made it legal to buy alcohol from restaurants to go. So a lot of the restaurants started doing like their famous margarita mix to go, and you know, businesses are doing curbside pickup, and you can order with Uber Eats and all of that stuff. So they can share all of that in your group then. So reach out to those business owners. It can be by phone. You don't have to go in person to talk to them.
Sure.
Let them know. And if they have a page that you want to invite, you can invite them as a page, or they can come in as their personal profile as well and advocate for their business through this group. And by helping them get into it, you know, they're going to let their clients, so they might need a little bit of coaching, right? Okay, I want you to join this group, but I also want you to invite your following to be part of this group, so that other businesses that are doing the same, you know, you guys can all benefit off of each other then. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you helped me make the thought process, you know, follow through. I had the general idea, but I couldn't complete the thought process.
Awesome. Yeah, and just, you know, you don't have to you don't have to say that you're doing, not that we're not hiding anything, but you just want to come from that place of contribution. You're also a business owner in this community, and you really want to help fellow business owners with everything that's going on right now. And this is a fantastic idea that you've had. You can say you've talked to other business owners and they've been on board, and you would love to give them the opportunity as well. And by the way, if I know of anybody that's looking for your services, I would be happy to refer them over to you through this community.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. All right, that was a great question. I'm glad that you got into the details of that a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to answer theoretically if I don't know the actual specifics of the group. But speaking of specifics of the group, one thing that I think is important is to have, see how there's this announcement right here on this group? you guys can post one post at a time and pin it to the top of your group or mark it as an announcement. So this one has something in here about an event that's coming up, but a lot of people use this spot to talk about what the group is all about, so that anybody that's coming to look at it, that's the first post they're going to see, or a welcome post that says, you know, welcome to, you know, living in Lombard, or whatever it is that your group's name is. In this group, we do blah, 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 blah. So you can also have that type of information in your about section, but not everybody always clicks on the about section. So that's a nice little tip for you guys to pin that or mark it as an announcement to the top of your page. That way it will always stay at the top of the group instead of getting lost in all the posts below. That is something that is different between groups and pages. Is on a page, all of your posts are going to stay in chronological order. On a group, the ones that have more engagement and interactions are going to stay at the top of the page, so that people will keep seeing them and continue to engage with them. Any questions about that? All right, so you definitely want to, when you're creating your group, you want to make sure that you have a mission in mind and stick to that, and, you know, think through the process of who you want to be inviting and everything. We talked about a lot of stuff so far today. The different settings, how to get people to join, asking people to join the group, the rules we talked about. One thing that I think is a great tip for you guys that we haven't really touched on is inviting your friends that are influencers to your group. So this is another way to really help build engagement, which will then naturally build the growth of the group. So by talking to some of your friends that are already really active on social media and asking them to help participate in this group and support you, and, you know, of course you'll support them back with whatever their ventures are, that just makes it not all fall on you. And it seems the people that are in the group don't know that you guys are connected already and that you're friends. So it's showing that other people are interacting, and it kind of sets an example and a standard for the other group members to start participating more as well. So with that being said, you can have people join, or you can make members admins or moderators to your group, which means that they have, depending on how you set them up, they have the ability to also allow people to join. They can delete posts. You know, it all depends on what setting permissions you give them. Just know that the actual admin setting is giving them the same power of the page or group that you have. So that means they could kick you out. So just keep that in mind. Not that we would ever think that anybody would do that, but you never know if something goes sour. Maybe you don't want to give away admin permission to everybody, but you can always make people moderators. And as your group grows, you'll want to be adding moderators, because it will be hard for you to manage, whether it's your one group growing or you're having a whole bunch of groups running. You don't want your full-time job to be moderating these Facebook groups. So if you invite some friends in to help with the moderation, you can provide some sort of incentive for them, or you can, you know, if people just want to come from contribution and do this, then great, that's even better. But set up some sort of criteria or goals for them. So I want you to post 3 to 5 times a week, or I want you to check, you know, on Mondays, and I'm going to have somebody else check on Tuesdays and somebody else check on Wednesdays, you know, to go through the groups. You want to make sure that all of our posts have some love, right? So like this Susie one, we have a lot of interactions. There's 89 on here, 532 comments. So she's got a lot going on, but you could go ahead and give it a like. If you want to comment on it, you can. But if you find a comment that, or a post that is like this one, oh, this one still has a lot too. Let me scroll down lower. Maybe there's one that doesn't really have anything yet. This group's really big. It's hard to find ones that have no comments. You go ahead and, you know, give it a like and add a comment, just so everybody feels included in the group. You hate for somebody to post a question and then just crickets, right? So if you don't know the answer, Freddie, please tag me or somebody that you think would know the answer, so that we can help, you know, answer that person's question, give them the information that they're looking for, right? So that's a little bit about moderating and helping to run your group. We have about 15 minutes left. There's a bajillion things I could talk about, so I want to see what it is that you guys are still having questions on right now and answer those since you're here.
So I heard mention about a business page. So what are the rules about using Facebook with me being a realtor as my business?
So you definitely want to, check with your state rules for sure with your managing broker. But Facebook's rules are, if you guys are posting things on Facebook that are business related, they need to come from your business page. And then you can share from your business page out to the public. That's just a business rule in general on Facebook.
Okay, so a business page comes with a price, is that right?
No, they're free. Pages are free. I just launched a 66-day challenge on my YouTube channel, and the first 20 days is all about Facebook, how to set up your Facebook page. And we just got into Instagram, and the next one will be YouTube. So if you want to check that out, it's a 66-day challenge. I think today was like day 23 or something. So it's a little tip every day. The videos are like 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what topic we're going over. But that'll walk you through step by step how to set up your page.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, Facebook is they don't want people getting spammed all the time, so that's why it's very important that you mark yourself as a business. Here in Illinois, we have a one-click rule, so it has to have your brokerage listed within one click of anything online. So if you make your page name include, like my office is Keller Williams Premier Properties, if your page name includes that in the name, that will be big and bold right across the top of the page. Let me think. Charlie, is it in yours?
Yes.
I'm gonna look him up. I hope you're compliant. All right, so here's Charlie. Everybody like Charlie. So you can see right here, his brokerage is right here in his cover photo. So if it's not in your cover photo, you can make it as an actual part of your name of the page. But you just want it to be super obvious who your brokerage is. And that's part of your state rules, so that might vary from state to state. Some states might require it be in the cover photo and others don't. So again, that's a good question for your managing broker. All right, so going back to groups, I'm gonna give you a couple more tidbits of information, is that if you are on Facebook and you are going to post stuff in your group and you know when you're going to be doing this, if you take 5 to 15 minutes ahead of time to reach out to people on Facebook and interact with them, whether it's going to their page, like I'm just gonna go to my home and scroll through and see what's going on. So I can see, so my friend Christy posted something. That's a business. My friend Kara posted something. So if I want to interact with these people, I can, I can like and I can comment on their pages. Everything on social media is currently algorithm based. So if you are interacting with people before you're going and posting in your groups or even on your business page, they will be more likely to see it after you post it because you have just interacted with them in another way. So spend a few minutes before you are doing your actual posting, interacting outside of that on your, like with your personal connections. One thing, if you really want to get into targeting, what you can do is go into your group and see who the members of your group are and go to their page. So let's go to my Western Suburbs one here. I can go into members here and see who all the members of this group are. Gonna load for a minute. So it'll give me a whole list of who all the members are, and I can click on their name and it will take me right to their personal profile. So if I want to target some people that haven't been interacting a lot on the group or with me on Facebook, I can go to their personal profile and see, they just had a grandkid, or their so-and-so just got married. Write a comment on that post, congratulating them or saying how exciting it is or something like that. And they'll be much more likely to see your content that you're posting from your page or your group then. On average, any post on Facebook, is only seen by 3 to 7% of your source of friends. So doing this content planning, I guess, going out and interacting before you're posting your content is really going to boost you up and kind of trick that algorithm and get you more engagement and get your information in front of more eyes and get them more likely to interact and comment and see you. So don't just post and run. That's the short version of that. Make sure you're interacting. Anything else I can help give you little tips on?
Maybe a little bit off topic, but might be related to the frequency with which posts appear. I have noticed lately I'm seeing posts from my friends 4 days later when it's posted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's all about the algorithm. You can't control that. I typically, when I'm posting things for a class, I want to advertise this class today. I'll post it a couple days ahead of time. Yeah, I'll still sometimes post the morning of and just a little reminder that, hey, this is happening today. But I run into that all the time where I'll see something that I wish I would have been able to attend, but I'm seeing it 2 days after it happened, right? So I make sure to post it a couple days ahead of time and then usually the morning of as well, if it's anything time sensitive. But yeah, following that little tip there to interact ahead of time will get your post in front of more eyes sooner, as long as you're doing that engagement ahead of time. That was a good question. All right. Well, I think that might be a good spot to stop today. Is this a topic you guys would like to dig into more in the future? Should we do another session on this, or do we want to just start a whole new topic? I always take suggestions.
Are you going to
this
do
is
anyone
good.
on Instagram?
Yep, Instagram too. Here, let me turn my screen share off. There, now I can see all of you. Yeah, I've done some on Instagram. We can keep doing that. I've just done a basic, like an intro one. Charlie, you were in that one, I remember. And like I said, I'm doing my 66-day challenge right now is currently on how to set up your Instagram. So the next 20 days or so will be all about Instagram.
So do I just do a search on Facebook for 66-day challenge? Is that how I find you?
So if you go to, I should reshare my screen. Hang on 1 minute, please. If you search the Social Stack, I have a page all set up. I'll probably make a group soon. I haven't done it yet. And I'll share my screen so you can see what it looks like. So I do post them all of my videos on Facebook, but I have a YouTube channel. So if you go there, you can find them all there too. I have a playlist all set up, so they're all in order. But this is my page. It's the Social Stack. Can you guys all see it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you'll see, we're looking at it as an admin right now, so you see some extra stuff. But if you scroll down, you'll see all of my challenge videos look like this. So they'll have whatever day it is and the little name on it. And you can just kind of scroll through and look for ones that you want. Or like I said, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a whole playlist and it's all set up in order for you.
Amy, is this 66-day challenge distinct from Marty's 66-day?
Yeah, mine is it's setting up your social media. So it's nothing to do with Command or anything like that.
Okay.
So youtube.com/thesocialstack is where you can find me. And then if you come to the channel, you'll see that there's this playlist button right here. So you can subscribe, and if you hit the bell icon, you'll get a notification whenever I post anything. So whether it's a challenge video or a class video or anything like that, you can go ahead and hit that playlist. And then right here is Get Started on Social Media. So you can view full playlist here, and you can see I already have 24 videos that are live. So these ones are coming. I put them up, but it's not that day of the challenge yet, so they're not available yet. Because this is the first time I've done it. So you have access to 20 some so far.
This is great. Thanks.
Yeah. You can see, I think this is my longest one. I've got an 18 and a 17-minute one, but most of them are pretty short. So you could do a couple in a day if you wanted to. You don't have to, but yeah, I tried to break it down into little bite-sized pieces for you. And this is just a super beginner level, you know, how to like set up your account and stuff like that. I'll throw some little tips in some of them that's like why you're doing it and maybe like an extra little tidbit, but this is very like intro level, this challenge. I'll probably do one in the future that's a little higher level.
This is perfect. Thank you.
Sure thing. All right, well, on that note, I think I'm gonna let you guys go unless there's anything else I can answer for you in the next couple minutes. No? All right, so make sure to check back in, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for those notifications. And every Thursday in August, my classes will be at 10 a.m. Central because of Bold. When Bold is over, we'll go back to 1 o'clock Central. All right. So I don't remember what my class is next week off the top of my head. I apologize. I'll have something good, I promise. All right, I'll see you guys later, and I will send out, you guys will get the email next week with what's coming up and the recording of today's class. So thank you for coming. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.